There are some things that worked for me, and there are some things that did not work for me. And so every so often, I like to take some time to reevaluate my goals. In this video, I am going to be sharing with you some of the day-to-day obstacles and challenges and activities that I go through as a solopreneur. And stay tuned to the end of the video because I'm going to share with you a few concepts that help me to make sense of all the different things I had to juggle this first half of the year at the end. What's happening, fellow tradesmen? Coach K here, and I am just relaxing. You can see the wind is going. It was supposed to rain today or this evening, so that's probably why we got this good breeze going on here. But it's July 1st. It's July 1st, 2025, and we are not just embarking, we are well on our way into the second half of the year. And I have one question. What will you do differently in this second half of the year than what you did in the first half? There are some things that worked for me, and there are some things that did not work for me. And so every so often, I like to take some time to reevaluate my goals, reevaluate my circumstances, reevaluate the plan. Because even a good plan sometimes needs some reevaluation, especially if things aren't going as you intended them to, which a lot of times they won't. A lot of times things will not go as you planned, or however, they may turn out way better than what you planned. So yeah, this is just that time, and I'm enjoying this this moment to breathe, this moment to rest, and this moment to reset. So go ahead, answer that question. What will you do differently as we embark on the second half of the year, the second half of 2025? How have things been for you? Before we even go into the next, how are you doing right now in this present moment? Whether it's July 1st or any other time, how are you doing? How is life treating you? How is your emotional state? How is your mentality? How is your physical? Mind, body, soul, and spirit. How are you doing? I'll go first. Just okay. January is gonna fly by. We had some snow days. I got a new Jeep. But after all those hardships, it was back to business as usual. And as fast as the year started, we rolled right into February. February, I did a lot of experimental things. I made candles for the very first time. And this actually is going to foreshadow something that's going to happen later on in the year, which I didn't even know at the time. And of course, experiment. I am making some Marry Me salmon gnocchi right here. And it was pretty good. It was the first time making it. It was pretty much like everything that was in the refrigerator. Let me see what I can make with this. So it was like green beans, mushrooms, salmon, and the gnocchi, and a little bit of Alfredo type sauce. Y'all, this was pretty delicious for real. Disagreeing respectfully. In the middle of that conversation or in that moment, do these 3 steps whenever you're having a conversation, whether it's friendly or if it's an argument or it's something that can turn into an argument. You want to work on these 3 steps. As you saw there at the end of February, I tested my skills in doing tutorial type videos, and then we got a fresh start, got a fresh cut. I've been learning to do my own haircuts, and so this was maybe like the second or third time I've done a fade. I'm trying to get it nice and blurry. As you can see, we're not quite there yet, but we're getting close. I also finally picked up that guitar that I've been hauling around for probably about 4 or 5 years now. and I have started to actually learn a few chords. I haven't been as consistent as I would like to be, but it's been fun just trying to pluck away at the chords and hear sounds coming from the guitar. So I need to get back to doing this. You hear that? I got a little better, didn't I? And this is where it really got good. I actually went back to school, did an intro to construction course where I learned all about power tools. Right here I'm using a pneumatic nailer, which uses air compression to actually shoot the nails out. And then in a few more clips, you're gonna see that I make a birdhouse and do some tile work. But before we get there, we gotta take in the beauty of spring. This was the very, very first bloom of the year. These flowers around the neighborhood I live, they bloom nice, bright white and pink. And I'm getting into my cinematic bag a little bit, so you'll probably see more nature views and cinematic views as I continue to post videos throughout the year. Now back to work we go. I actually got to volunteer at a habitat house, and today we're just doing some busy work kinda. You can see the installation or the spray installation foam needed to be kind of trimmed up a little bit there. So that's what I spent the day doing at the habitat house. It was a hot day, but it was a good day. I am out at an open house here. I can't remember the builder's name, but let's look at the house. Then we got to tour some tiny homes, and here comes April. During April, this is where I got creative and I got back into my artistic bag, and I did this black and white Neo Graphica series. Then back in the classroom, I built a birdhouse, practiced some tiling skills, and even did some drywall repair. Somebody push back on the. Now, tile work is probably everybody's favorite part of the class, and I'm no different. It was my favorite part as well. So much to the point to where I am actually going to be attending a workshop where I'm going to get paid to learn once again. I'll be attending the Schluter Tile System workshop at the end of July, and this was really so much fun because I got to use my precision skills and be a perfectionist, getting the line straight and make sure everything was level. But yeah, like I said, I'm super excited to learn more about the Schluter tile system, and hopefully that will turn into some more gigs where I'm doing some tile work for clients. So we don't know what's going to happen yet, but I'm looking forward to continuing to learn. Next up, we actually got to do some electrical work, and we built 2 electrical boxes, put in a plug, a switch, and even a light bulb. I'm not going to be able to show it to you right here because I can't find that clip, but don't you worry, I'm going to be doing a whole series on all the things that I learned during this Intro to Construction course, and so you'll get all the details of each thing that we learned, and you'll see me actually get this light working. What's a classroom without making friends and lasting memories? And so we got to play some guitar with one of my classmates. Went out and built a tiny home, or helped build a tiny home. Are in the thick of it, about halfway through with the deck. So yeah, gotta get back to work. And lastly, we bonded so well that we helped one of our classmates do the demolition for their deck project. Now we're moving into May, where things sped up and slowed down all at the same time. So I had to make sure that I was taking care of myself, went on a couple solo dates, and believe it or not, I became a loctician. And I learned from the best, Mr. Gunther the Great. I learned how to do instant locks, and you're probably going to hear him in the background.
This just ensures that the hair won't unravel. Not only does this reduce the frizz, but I think it goes without saying that with keeping the dreadlocks in 2-strand twists, it allows the hair to become tighter, meaning that the dreadlocks...
So yeah, always gotta learn from the best. That's what it looks like with the instant locks. And then here is the finished product. Voila! More new things, more new things. I made some ceramic candle holders. I made the candles, I told you in the beginning. I made those candles back in February, and then I went to a market in May, and I was able to sell candles for the very first time at the Black Authors Book Fair, and it was a success. It was a hit. I always have a good time when I go to this market. We're almost back to present day, but we can't get into July before we celebrate June. The proceeds from the Black Authors Book Fair paid like $2 in pennies, but hey, it all cashed in and got deposited in the bank no matter what. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Then I took myself on my final solo date to get a seafood boil. Last but not least, one of the most influential and impactful things that happened during the first half of the year was starting university, so I had to go out and get me a new ball. 2025 has taught me a lot. I started off this year with a goal of posting every single day, and it was pretty ambitious. Not only did I start off with that goal, but I also started off this channel on a new foot, and I thought this was going to be a gig work channel. But as time went on, things developed. I started off in a van, now I'm in a Jeep. Things just kept changing, and so that's pretty much been the theme of the first half of 2025 for me, and that is adapting to the changes. If you have seen my banner on my page, it's pretty much like a little roadmap type of thing, and I have 5 pillars listed on there, and the first one is challenges. And this year, my life in general has been riddled with so many challenges, and every time these challenges arise, God sees me through. Whatever phase of life I'm in, God sees me through. And so that's why that's the first part of it, because as we begin to age, as we begin to grow up, as we begin to grow older, we start to face challenges. Because as an infant, our parents took care of us, our guardians took care of us, someone fed us, clothed us, bathed us. And then as we start to learn to speak and we start to socialize with others, we start to face challenges, and we get about into those terrible twos where no is pretty much every 2-year-old's favorite word, and that no brings about so many challenges. But we learn a very valuable lesson at 2 before we even know what that will foretell. We learn how to create boundaries for ourselves. We learn how to challenge authority. We learn how to question existence. We learn so many things at the age of 2 that will carry us out through the rest of our life. And after we hit those challenges, then we get into accountability. Now that we know how to say no, we know when to say no, we know why to say no, now we have to be held accountable for our actions. Now you know better. You know what's right and wrong, or you're still learning what's right and wrong. And let's jump from 2 to about 5, where you're expected. Your parents expect you to do certain things. Your parents expect you to act a certain way. If you go to school, the school expects you to abide by certain rules, right? And then so on and so forth. After we start to learn about accountability, then we move into exploration. This is around, I'm going to say that 10, 11, 12, those preteen years are really starting to form that identity. Who am I? What am I? Why am I? And you're starting to decide how you want to show up in the world, how you want your friends to treat you, how you want your family to treat you, who you want to be, within these different dynamics. And then after you explore, now you do what we are here to do. We start creating that life that we want for ourselves. We start dreaming about, who do I want to be when I grow up? What do I want to be when I grow up? Who do I want to marry? What type of friends do I want? I'm gonna say this is around, are, 15, 17, 18, 19, 20. Like, we're going through these things through the stages of life, but these are very pivotal moments. So about 18, you're really, we're leaving childhood and we're moving into adulthood. So now I really got to process, who I am and what am I here for. Then after we begin to, we explored, we're starting to create, and now we need to network. We need to share our gifts and our talents. We need to serve those around us and be served by those around us. So those are the 5 pillars, the things that you will experience on this channel, on this journey with me. And so, yeah, I hope that was good. I hope you got to learn more about who I am and, what I represent through this channel. Go ahead, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this. And I'll see you guys, or you'll see me in the next one. It's been a long time coming, but I'm finally about to post a video. So this video came out before this one. Networking 101. I'm going to talk about a few things that you should think about when you start networking and, going into these environments where you want to share your gifts and your talents with others. So I'm going to finish editing this, get it posted, and it will probably be right here. So go check out this video next. At this very moment, I don't know what this video is going to be about. What I do know is we're about to reflect on what has transpired in the first half of 2025. So let's get into these clips.